Next, we would have Professor Hong Lee, who can tell us more about the situation also in China, in Chinese cities, and whether they have already have information on impacts on health and if it's specific to VOCs. So, but Professor Hong Lee first, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, so we all know that atmospheric VOCs has very complex compositions, and they have different uh, effects on the atmosphere, environment, human health, climate change, and also depletion. So actually, there is an overlap of VOCs with different effects. So in China, actually, we make the control of VOCs in four respectives. First two is concerning about the ozone depletion and also climate change. And the third one is about the precursors of secondary pollutants. And the fourth one is about the toxic VOCs. So for the first two ones, actually, it's mainly concerns about the halogenated hydrocarbons. So this slide shows the series of actions taken in the course of China's control about halogenated hydrocarbons. We have the very strong determination to protect the ozone layer and respond to climate change. Concerning about the precursors of secondary pollutants, basically they are reactive. So we actually we proposed the VOC as governance at the national level in 2010. So from that time, we have made a lot of action. We have taken strict measures to control VOCs. For example, we have concerning including the laws and action plans and governance measure control measurement. So we have up to now we have basically established a relatively systematic standard system related to VOC control, and we also basically established the National Photochemical Pollution Monitoring Network. And the fourth respective aspect is about the toxic VOCs. We have issued a list of priority controlled chemicals in 2017. And in this list, there are some of them are toxic VOCs, and we have the we renewed the list in 2018, and we continue to pay high attention about how to do more works about in these aspects. For example, this year, MEE of China determined to localize the implementation of national environmental health management pilot work in some of the cities. So in brief, I say we have basically built the control system of anthropogenic VOCs. For example, in these aspects, I think we have done very good work. And comparing other countries, since I don't know much about other countries, I know a little bit about the USA. So basically, I think we in China we comparing other some other countries, we are relatively late in national level control of VOCs. But from the very beginning, we have established the idea of a source substitution, process control, and end-of-pipe treatment. And we gradually improved our regulatory system. And during the process of rebuilding our control system, we observed the advanced experience from other countries and also the latest scientific knowledge. And especially we have high level of participation in the scientific community. Actually, I'm now in Wuhan. I take part in a workshop about ozone control. So it certainly concerns many of VOC. Yes. So I answered the second question, and concern about the first question. Actually, at present, VOCs has not been included in the national ambient air quality standard in China. So we still don't have the environmental benchmark for VOCs. So when we talk about the contribution of VOCs to air quality, we usually talk about their contribution to ground level ozone and also the SOA. So due to the time limit, I'm sorry, I will not go to detail. Concern about the contribution to health impact. Basically, we are still in the study level. So there are, for example, for the toxicological research, we basically made the descriptive research work. And for the health risk assessment, basically in the relatively developed cities, we have carried out the human health assessment of toxic VOCs. Actually, there are some of results shows that we have carcinogenic risk for some toxic species. And for the epidemiological research, we have basically mainly done research on occupational exclusion. So for the non-occupational exclusion health academic research, there are still not so much. So that's so I make a summary. So China has established a relatively complete VOC control system, and still needs to be further improved, and especially about the research and assessment of VOC contribution to air quality and their impacts on health needs to be strengthened. And in the future, I think the VOCs control in China needs to be considered in an integrated manner. For example, we should both consider about the air pollution prevention and control, protection of human health, response to climate change, and the protection of the ozone layer in China. And also the benchmark and the standards need to be strengthened. That's the end of my presentation. Thanks.